All right, now to a story that is all new here at 6.
That's right. If someone's heart stopped where you're at work, would you know what to do to help out?
Well, just about every office building, mall, or any other place where people gather has an automatic external defibrillator, or an AED. The device gives the heart a shock, and that is if you can find it or if you can use it. ABC 2 News' Roosevelt Leftwich tells us now about the changes in state law that will make it easier for us to save a life.
3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
When someone is in cardiac arrest, if CPR alone is started within the first 3 minutes, the chance of survival is about 10%.
Analyzing rhythm. Oh no, it's my best friend.
If someone then uses an automatic external defibrillator, the chance of survival is close to 25%. The clock is always ticking when the heart is not.
Everyone stand clear. Push the shock button.
And somebody at that point called 911, and the 911 operator said, "Is there a defibrillator there?" And the response was, "Yes, but we're not allowed to use it." And they were not allowed to use it. This was
Debbie Freed's 5-year-old son Connor died on the deck of a country club pool on June 22, 2006, before paramedics could reach him. She says she bears no malice toward the teenage lifeguard who made that 911 call. She wasn't trained to use the AED. None of the lifeguards on duty that day were. Because of this, Freed and her family have crusaded to get AEDs installed at every public pool with lifeguards trained to use them. Connor's law was signed by the governor back in April, and the hope is that people will now be willing to push the button and potentially save a life.
It can't do anything wrong. Once that button is pushed, that device only gives a shock if needed. It registers the person in cardiac arrest if their heart needs shocked, and it either shocks the person or it does not, so it cannot hurt an individual. They're like fire hydrants now. I think they should be everywhere, and you see them more everywhere you go now. So if you notice any building you walk into, a shopping center, a mall, they're everywhere, and people are saved all the time.
In Connor's case, the AED was there, but no one there knew how to use it. There are close to 8,000 AEDs around the state at 4,300 different sites. 911 dispatchers now routinely ask callers in cases of cardiac arrest if there is an AED unit in the building. But finding one in 3 minutes, well, it isn't always easy.
The AED should be in plain sight, not locked in a cabinet where no one can find it or no one knows where it is.
Dr. Richard Alcorta is in charge of the state's EMS system. He says some companies were hesitant to display their AEDs for fear of misuse and fear of being sued. But another change in the law that went into effect last month should take away that fear if the AED is registered with the state.
They're actually getting state liability protection from civil litigation. They're also then having their AED site placed in the 911 computer-aided dispatch process, so that when a civilian calls from that location and says, "I've got somebody who's collapsed, I'm starting CPR," the dispatcher can say, "There is an AED on that site. Send somebody to go get it."
Attach pads firmly to person's chest.
Although a trained person is always the best option, the AED talks to you.
30 seconds of CPR remain.
It makes it easy.
Analyzing rhythm.
Okay, stop touching the
Everyone
person.
stand clear.
Stop touching. And
It's foolproof. And although you should never underestimate the ingenuity of complete fools, modern AEDs are just too good not to use because there's just one other option.
A person that's in cardiac arrest is dead. Clinically, they're dead. Biologically, the vital organs are still viable and alive, okay? But yes, if an AED is not used and a person is in cardiac arrest, there again, biologically, after 10 minutes, they're brain dead, which means then that we are dead.
The state and AED advocates like Freed are hoping that by moving forward with registration, AEDs in buildings will blend in like fire extinguishers do now, and people will be willing to use them. Or you can think of it this way. In the time it's taking you to watch this story, a little more than 4 minutes or so, a person in cardiac arrest without any assistance would be dead. All that person really needed is CPR or an AED and a person who is willing to act.
Everyone stand clear. Push the shock button.
Roosevelt Leftwich, ABC 2
delivered.
News.
Begin 5 seconds.
Step in the right direction. The Freed family's really been working hard on that matter. You know, if you'd like more information about the changes in state law, you can find it right there on our website. Just log on to abc2news.com for the latest.